Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are taking a closer look at Baby Don't Cry Shapeshifter. We will also be taking a look at the other Baby Don't Cry release. I actually forget the name of it as I'm recording this, but that'll be coming up a little bit later today as of when I'm posting. Yeah, I'm not actually sure when that will be. Probably Saturday, March 28th, but I don't know yet. I'm recording this uh, in the middle of the week, so who knows. But we did the reaction to Shapeshifter. I really enjoyed this song. If you want to see that reaction, check that out on Jeff Reacts 12. That's the main page. But this one, if you're not familiar with how I do things on this channel, will be where I talk more about lyrics and anything in the video that I find interesting and want to speak about. So let's get started. We got some Big Bird looking. This instrumentation already gives me like I don't know what the actual term is called, but like certain types of spy movie. Uh, it's hard to describe, but think like if you're familiar with Le Seraphim's discography, I think the song was called "Come Over." It has a similar vibe to that. Not the same, but similar.
I'm not a liar when it comes to the part. I feel so real for the first time for real.
Sweet and spicy, looking cute here on the billboard. Cherry Inferno, which I was about to say is like sweet and spicy, but no duh, it's literally already on the billboard.
Sweet and spicy, hot and icy.
This shot right here, I like that they're like showing that duality. I assume these are tomatoes, or supposed to be. They're also hearts, of course, but they could be apples, or they could just literally be hearts and not actually be any sort of produce. But the reason I was getting at that they might be some form of produce is just because, you know, obviously those would be growing more in like spring and summer, and icy would be more like winter. So it's continuing that duality from the sweet and spicy. But like I said, it could just be hearts and have nothing to do with produce at all. If you see a pretty... What is that? I can't quite tell what that says. If you see a pretty something, never pluck it. Oh, a pretty flower. Never pluck it because then it will die. Instead, leave it to grow. Love is not something possession. Love is about appreciation. Nice. Okay. Love that choreo. Hold on, let me back up. I'll play the whole chorus here and then we'll talk about lyrics, but I wanted to highlight this particular choreo. So where she's got, you know, this motion and then they flip it, I think twice. Yeah. It's like reframing. Also cool choreo there. Okay, so what I mean by that reframing is this whole song so far, they've been talking about like the duality and such. And so if that choreo really kind of, like I've said twice now, like reframing, like making you rethink or re-envision what they are, or maybe make you see them through a different lens. Um, yeah, really solid choreo, and also like it's kind of blatant, but it's fun when, where they flex when they say I'm a king and a queen, and they do the crown on the other half. That was nice too. So verse one was, I feel a little different deep in my heart. I'm not a liar when it comes to the part. I feel so real for the first time, for real more than ever before. So, okay, they're self discovery, they're being themselves, they're being true to themselves. But when you're being true to yourself and kind of starting to act or feel different than maybe what you have become known as, some people might take that as you being like two-faced, or that you wore a mask, you were like acting like a different person, when in reality, yes, that's their perception, but the reality was that you were thinking you were being authentic, and then you realized more and more what you genuinely wanted and who you genuinely were, and so you leaned more into that, and it wasn't that you lied, it's that you discovered. And so I think that's kind of what she's getting at here, and you've seen that especially obviously in younger people who are growing and developing, not just physically but mentally, emotionally, and finding out who they're going to be in life. So all of that is set up by the fact that they're feeling a little different and deep in their heart. Like they're feeling, maybe they're growing, maybe they're feeling different than they did. We don't really know, other than it just says different. The pre-chorus, I'm sweet and spicy, hot and icy. So that's that duality I was mentioning. Slow-mo and high speed. What is your other side like? This seems to imply that there's only two sides. Like I mentioned the two-faced thing, but like you have one side and then your true self maybe, and that's what they're asking. Like, what's the real you like? But the way it's phrased is interesting, because normally, especially in K-pop or idols in general, you hear them talk about like, I'll work hard, I'll show you a better side of myself, or whatever, talking about different sides, and they'll emphasize that they have many sides to show you as opposed to two. So it's interesting that even though they may just genuinely mean, what's the real you, it comes off as like there's only two sides. There's the real you and the fake you. And it was very black and white. But anyway, chorus, oh, I'm a shapeshifter with a face where day and night both live inside. So again, we've got that duality concept, and discovering who they are. With a heart that moves and changes like the tides. Feels like I'm born again. That's me. Yeah, so with a heart that moves and changes like the tides, that's just saying like, my feelings change all the time. I don't necessarily have concrete feelings here. I can be swayed easily. I'm all in one, king and a queen. So of course we've got the duality again. Everything I want, yeah, I'm a shapeshifter. Look, what do you see in me? So now they did the flipping of that frame choreo again around this part. And so not only, like I said, was it viewing them through a different lens, but now they're asking you like, how do you see me? Like, I see me a certain way, but maybe like, how do you view me? And then the post chorus is just shapeshifter. I. So let's check verse 2. Poppers! What is going on here? Okay, so they're like having a barbecue of some sort, except they are not doing it right. They're having so much fun with that choreo. I love the girl with the pigtails. So these lips were covered in post-it notes, which it's symbolic, but I'm not really sure what the symbol is. I know that, covering the lips here could mean, that they're not speaking truth, or, maybe that they're being censored. I don't know. So somebody who, has an idea of what this means. Like I have an idea, but it's not coming out right. Probably because it's literally 4 a.m. as I'm recording this, and I'm barely awake. But yeah, it definitely has a meaning, especially because the post-it notes come off and the lips are free or uncovered, uncensored. So maybe it's like they're able to speak their truth at that point. But verse 2 was, I've got the brains and got the look that appeals. So they're smart and pretty. They're not just one or the other. A little hurt or maybe hurting you too. If I need to, I can cause some trouble too. So they're good girls, but they can throw down, not necessarily fighting, but like they can get into trouble. They're not all like angels here. Maybe a little angel and a little demon. That is just who I am. To some, I'm just too gentle a name. Sometimes I'm the name they all proclaim. So that's a really interesting way of phrasing that. Because to me, what that says is just too gentle a name is like they don't mention me at all. And then sometimes I'm the name that they can't shut the hell up about. Crash into me, I won't ever break. Mine is too complex of a name to ever name. In other words, there are too many sides to me to label me. It's the same concept as Not Me from Islet. You know how if you heard the song, you already know what I'm talking about, but if you didn't, it's an interpolation of That's Not My Name from the Ting Tings, and they're basically saying like they call me lit, they call me illit, they call me princess, they call me like all these things. Some of them good, some of them not that great. But they're like, that's not my name. Like that's not my label. You can't define me with just that. And so here we have that same concept. Mine is too complex. Like the name that you want to give me, you can't really just give me that name because I'm so much more than that. And then we've got the pre-chorus and chorus again. So just so I don't pause for lyrics, the last thing that's going to be lyrically different is the bridge, where it'll say, don't remind me who I should be. I also ask me, what is your name for today? So that goes with the Shapeshifter theme. Like, who do I want to be today? I can be anything. I can be the king or the queen. I can be gentle or ferocious. Like, who do I want to be? I ask myself that. But they're telling you, or maybe the haters, or maybe just people in general, like, don't tell me who I am or who I need to be. I'll determine that for myself. Love that choreo. Those bright eyes, like. Wait, what? The elevator said something. Not this. What does it say? No gravity? So, like, I'm not being held down by any expectations, maybe? I mean, no gravity would have to have some sort of, like, symbolic meaning, not just straight up no gravity. I almost busted my mic. King Kong just floating away. Then again, there was the no gravity. Saw the no gravity there too. All right, so now they're literally shape shifting into different things. Like now we're puppies, but what did we have? We had these little fur creatures. Of course, the girls. Oh, and then there was like some jelly or jello versions.
Don't remind me who I should be.
Multiple rainbows.
오늘 이름이 뭐야? I'm a shapeshifter. 설명하기 어려웠던 감정도 마주보기 어려웠던 마음.
Everything here is so playful, and this is actually the perfect shot to pause on, which I didn't intend. I was trying to look at the cityscape, but all of this stuff is, or at least all of these words are, synonyms or conveying the same meaning as this shapeshifter: evolving, mutating, transforming, new form. All of those are basically like, I'm growing, or I'm changing, or I can be what I want to be. That was weird. What we got out here? There's some crazy stuff going on. We got a big freaking psychedelic rubber ducky. We got a boom box. I'm not sure what the heck this thing is back here, like in between the girls in the distance. We got a hot dog food truck, some balloons, ice cream. Anyway, all right. I was just wondering if there was anything like important with this, but it doesn't look like it. Hold on. I love to catch these little things, even if they don't mean anything. I still like to see them. I love you. Komawa. Okay, I'm not gonna sit here and try to read all of it, especially because I don't know all of it. But yeah, I'm assuming most of these say I love you in some way, or someone can let me know. Oh, now the mouth is open, where, like, remember earlier it was closed. Now, I mean, I'm sure it's a different prop altogether, but it's supposed to be the same mouth. Now it's open and like proclaiming whatever it wants. Yeah, that's still a good song. I say still because, sometimes you listen to a song and you're like, oh, that's pretty darn good. And then you listen to it a second time and it already gets old. This is not one of those. I really like this one. I'm glad I had a chance to look more into the message and the lyrics and appreciate the choreo more. If you enjoyed them, please check them out if you haven't already. Sub to their socials and their YouTube channel. Check out their comebacks. And if you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell to enable your notifications. And if you want to get a request done here or on the main reaction channel, you can do that one of two ways. You can either subscribe to the Patreon at the gray tier or above. Shout out to all those folks who have done that. Thank you guys so much for your support. Gray tier gets access to all the free content, but of course they also get access to all of the locked content as well. And then that also comes with your monthly requests. But if you're not interested in the Patreon benefits for whatever reason, then you can look in the description below. There's a link to PayPal and instructions on how to use it. So feel free to take a look, and I will see you for the next video. Take care, everybody.